Goddess Garden Book Chat family, we've made it to the final stretch. I'm so glad that you're here to be a part of this exciting journey. That's right. After an incredible literary journey, we're now down to our last 5 reads in this epic challenge. Every page turned, every discussion shared, every moment spent in this world of books has led us to today. Led us here. I'm so glad. Oh, this was such a huge undertaking, and I'm so glad I did it. I feel so much richer for it. Now, today's read, it's a little different. It's powerful and it is necessary. I read this book a year ago and it stuck with me in large and small ways. And so it was such a good pick to be a part of the month of February journey. And I'm glad it's here. So, unlike the other reads, however, this book demands care, advocacy, and a voice. It will challenge perspectives, certainly, and it will stir emotions and reminds us of the impact of storytelling in the real world. So, as we dive in, let's do so with open hearts, open minds, and a shared commitment to understanding and awareness. Your thoughts matter, especially when it comes to such a sensitive topic. So always be mindful that when you publicly post, other people can see what you're writing as well as be impacted by it. But your voice matters, and I do want to hear from you. So let's make this discussion one that resonates. I hope you like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and come back so that we can continue with our journey and keep the conversation growing. Engage with us in these comments. Engage with the community of other readers. Share your perspectives, and let's make this a collective experience that goes beyond the pages. So, without further ado, I give you 7 Days in June by Tia Williams.
Hello, dear readers. This book requires a trigger warning. Sensitive content ahead. Before we begin, we want to acknowledge that 7 Days in June by Tia Williams deals with sensitive topics, including sexual assault, childhood trauma, and the long-term effects of generational pain. This discussion will touch on these themes in depth. If at any point you feel uncomfortable, please prioritize your well-being. At the end of this review, we will provide resources for those who may need support. I'll begin with an overview of 7 Days in June. Tia Williams. 7 Days in June is a powerful contemporary romance that intertwines themes of love, trauma, and healing. The novel follows Eva Mercy, a best-selling erotica writer and single mother, and Shane Hall, a reclusive but critically acclaimed literary genius. When their paths cross at a literary event, it is clear their history is far more complex than just old flames reuniting. Over the course of 7 days, they unravel years of heartbreak, addiction, and unspoken truths, revisiting a teenage love affair that left scars on both of them. The novel beautifully balances romance with raw, unfiltered pain. Eva struggles with chronic pain, and her role as a mother adds depth to her character, while Shane's journey toward redemption exposes the complexities of addiction, survival, and personal demons. However, underneath the passion and longing, 7 Days in June also sheds light on the lingering effects of trauma, specifically the trauma of sexual violence and the resulting consequences, including raising a child conceived from that trauma. Eva's experience as a survivor of sexual assault, who later raises a child as a result of that violence, is an all too common reality. According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, NSVRC, 1 in 5 women in the United States have experienced completed or attempted non-consent intimacy in their lifetime. About 3 million women in the U.S. have become pregnant as a result of non-consent intimacy. More than 60% of non-consent intimacy cases involve perpetrators who are known to the victim, family members, friends, or acquaintances. For many survivors, raising a child conceived in this way comes with an emotional burden that is compounded by societal stigma, inadequate legal protections, and In some cases, pressure from the perpetrator's family to remain silent. The lack of support systems and the trauma of navigating motherhood under these circumstances are ongoing struggles that remain largely underdiscussed. The struggle Eva faces is not just a modern issue, it is one that is embedded in history. Black women, particularly in America, have endured a long legacy of being victimized by those in power, and then being forced to navigate the repercussions alone. During slavery, Black women were frequently subjected to no-consent intimacy at the hands of their enslavers. The children born from these assaults were often denied their mother's agency, treated as property, or forced into servitude themselves. Even after the abolition of slavery, Black women continued to face systematic exploitation, often being dismissed when they sought justice. The trope of the strong Black woman has frequently been weaponized against survivors, forcing them into silence and resilience without the space to process their trauma. This historical pattern of forced endurance means that even today, many Black women, like Eva, are left to carry the burdens of their pain without societal acknowledgement or adequate support. One of the most difficult aspects of 7 Days in June is how trauma is reinforced not just by the perpetrator, but by the families who enable or ignore the abuse. In many cases, survivors of assault are met with disbelief, blame, or outright rejection by their own family members. This is particularly common when the perpetrator is someone known to the family, as loyalty, financial dependence, or social reputation often take precedence over justice for the survivor. This cycle of denial creates generational damage, leaving survivors isolated and invalidated. It sends a message to future generations that abuse can be excused, secrets should be kept, and those who speak out should be punished rather than protected. The psychological toll of this betrayal can be devastating, leading to depression, anxiety, and difficulty trusting others, which is reflected in Eva's journey throughout the novel. For survivors, breaking the cycle requires immense courage, often without family support. This is why access to external advocacy groups and safe spaces is critical in helping survivors heal and find validation outside of a toxic family dynamic. So my final thoughts are, Tia Williams' 7 Days in June is more than just a second chance romance. It is a testimony to the resilience of Black women, the complexity of survival, and the long road to healing. Eva's story is one that reflects the reality of far too many women who are forced to reconcile love, trauma, and motherhood under circumstances beyond their control. For readers, this novel serves as both a love story and a wake-up call. It forces us to confront the societal structures that continue to fail survivors while offering a glimmer of hope that healing and happiness are still possible even after the darkest of days. If this review has resonated with you, please take care of yourself and know that support is available. No one should have to carry their trauma alone. If you or someone you know has experienced sexual violence and needs support, look at the included information below, and these services should be there for your needs.